Michel Barnier, the EU's chief Brexit negotiator, has argued all along that Britain isn't like other trading partners because it's starting out on equivalent terms to the rest of the EU on everything from product standards to labor regulations, so the bloc needs to make sure London doesn't just undercut its future rule changes. There's something to this. There is a regulatory divergence in normal trade deals that provides natural protection for each market, explains Eric White, a trade lawyer with Herbert Smith Freehills in Brussels. Still, both sides know that eventually they'll have to arrive at an agreement, whether it's now or later. The longer it takes, the higher the cost to businesses and consumers, and the harder it will be to rebuild trust, but Britain looks to have won concessions, too. That may be worth the price for Conservatives who don't want to own the chaos of a no-deal Brexit. If it sticks, the emerging compromise would let Johnson claim that Britain has freed itself from the jurisdiction of European courts and taken back control over its laws. If the UK does diverge from EU rules in future, it may pay a penalty in the form of new tariffs or other trade friction. But as Lowe notes, it becomes a choice. The UK still has the sovereign decision to do whatever it wants. Weighed against the no-deal prospect of immediate tariffs on January 1, possible future penalties seem a lesser evil, and yet, it also demonstrates the practical limits of Johnson's cherished sovereignty. Imagine a British government that had to choose at some point between adopting the UK equivalent of an EU regulation or accepting some loss of EU market access. If Brussels decided, for example, to limit executive pay in a way that discouraged companies from headquartering in the UK, that might be explosive. These are problems for future administrations, however, which may explain why a deal looks more possible today. In practical terms, nothing much would change on January 1 if agreement is reached. On environmental law, the UK has moved to increase protections already. If anything, it could force the EU to raise its standards. On labor market regulations, the two are largely aligned. And EU countries have been far more aggressive in using state subsidies than the UK. The devil, as ever, will be in the detail being hammered out. What are the retaliatory mechanisms, how are they triggered, and are they imposable even where a regulatory divergence doesn't impact the EU? The bloc will always use the leverage it has, so these specifics could still doom a deal. A failure now would be a seriously wasted opportunity, though. Brexit isn't an event but a process. More than that, it's a never-ending string of decisions that entail trade-offs. Sometimes Britain will want to move closer to the EU and at other times further away. Some of those choices will be very uncomfortable. At least they'll be the UK's to make. This column does not necessarily reflect the opinion of the editorial board or Bloomberg LP and its owners. Therese Raphael is a columnist for Bloomberg Opinion. She was editorial page editor of the Wall Street Journal Europe, copyright 2020 Bloomberg LP.